in the new era of healthcare, it will be all about where cost and quality meet. Now, I should tell you, I think that the healthcare industry in general has put cost first, but I'll tell you what Catholic healthcare is doing. They're putting quality first. That's the even playing field, the level playing field that we want to be in. We want to say quality is the great equalizer. We can compete, and we should compete, frankly, on a quality basis. That's good business. That's good care. That's good for the people at the end of this, which is our patients, our families, the people who are receiving the healthcare. And so what's great about the new healthcare millennium in the ACA and the ACO and the bundles and all this business, the best part about this is that Catholic healthcare is uniquely positioned to put quality and therefore the person first.
Catholic healthcare, to me, brings a lot of hope to the world in that I do believe that our values are needed in this world, and specifically in terms of holistic healing, mind, body, and spirit. We talk about modern medical miracles, but every day I think in Catholic hospitals we also see miracles of the spirit at the end of life with chaplains, with priests, where families that had been parted for 20, 30 years are now together again. And it's the old saying, I was lost and now I'm found.
The Sisters of Providence have left their families, and they've given up their riches and taken vows that can inspire us every day. And Mother Gamlin suffered greatly. She lost her family, and then she dedicated her life to the poor. So when we're asked, how do we find inspiration from the life of Mother Gamlin, I think it raises a lot of questions. How do we suffer with the poor? How do we deal with our own suffering and not see ourselves as victims of the world? But how does that suffering then inspire us to stand alongside others who are suffering and use that as fuel to really make a profound impact on the world?
The challenge is always to keep up with the latest technology and the training and education of behind it. That takes time. And it's always a challenge when everything's changing. So those are the challenges we deal with. But I always go back to is the basics. Good communication, knowing what we want. Whenever there's a big challenge, I always rely on my faith. I just know at the end of the day, God's with us. He wants us to prevail, to move ahead, to move forward, and when you get enough thought behind it, you figure it out. I always have a little hope in anything I do, and it always helps out a whole lot.
I think that it's important for hospitals around the country to know the importance of palliative medicine and the importance of outpatient palliative medicine particularly. I know that it's new, it hasn't been studied much, but if you look at all the different models of inpatient palliative medicine and even the Kaiser or VA model of outpatient palliative medicine, it works. And I think it's important to devote the resources, the time, and the manpower to try to provide patients with this quality of care in an outside environment.
One of my favorite aspects is to have been able to see the growth of palliative care as a strategic imperative for Ascension Health. So I think everyone always understood that palliative care was a mission imperative for our ministry, but increasingly our leaders are seeing it as a true quality and financial value that it adds for our patients and their families when it's delivered well throughout the continuum of care. So when we talk about person-centered holistic care, that's exactly what palliative care is.
What we're able to do that I think has benefited our organization tremendously is really get out there to these other organizations, be able to sit at the table with them, talk about what we provide, hear what they provide, and really form informal partnerships with organizations so that we all can work together to serve those who need it in the communities where we operate.
I think you always have to be optimistic, and you have to constantly instill optimism and self-confidence in the organization. But you have to do it in a responsible way and always stay grounded on reality. You can't just focus on the good things within an organization. I think you have to always face reality, acknowledge that there are challenges, and you have to navigate through the challenges, but you can't ever lose that optimism. It'll be a bright future, trust me, in healthcare.